and on Facebook, social media. Uh, it's a great honor to be here, honestly, because coming here is like you being invited to meet with the governors. You know what I mean by governors, the 37 or 36 governors we have in the country. So you are asked to come and meet with the governors. So this is not a play to me, it's real. So I'm meeting with the real governors of all your states. So it's the same feeling when you're asked to meet with your real governors. And when you're asked to meet with you guys, I think that gives the same impression that you are meeting with leaders. So because today I come with some messages and some gifts for you, but it's going to be maybe a long discussion along the way. It's going to be interesting, fun, and we'll be happy at the end, sure. But let me start like you asked me, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir.
The excellency of all excellencies. Yeah, that's it. Okay, Madam Chairman, you asked about myself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is Dr. Ahmed Adamu. I'm from Katsina State, and I'm a university lecturer. I am the first ever elected global president of the Commonwealth Youth Council.
Wow.
The Commonwealth Youth Council is the largest and the most diverse youth-led organization in the world. I represented over 1.2 billion young people from across the 53 Commonwealth nations that span across 6 continents we have in the world.
Wow.
We have these countries spread over 6 continents, like I said, Africa, Europe, Asia, Caribbean, Americas, Pacific. So each of these continents, we have Commonwealth countries. And that's what makes it diverse, the most diverse youth-led organization. And like I said, 53 countries. And the majority of the population of these countries are made of the young people, us. And we needed a platform, an official representative, or the voice that will speak on behalf of the youth. And that's why the Commonwealth Youth Council was created by the Queen of England, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. And she, being her the head of the Commonwealth, she supported the establishment alongside the head of governments. When I say the head of governments, I mean the prime ministers, the president of all these countries. They established, through the voice of the youth, through the pressure from the youth themselves, or the young people themselves, and set up this Commonwealth Youth Council. And I emerged to be the first person to lead this global organization. And this is an opportunity that will not come back to this continent until after 12 years to come. And by that time, most of us, we have passed the age of the youth, right? So it's a rare opportunity and big legacy and victory to us, Africa, to the black race, Nigeria in particular. And I served for 2 years. My election took place in Sri Lanka. When I was handing over, we did the election in Malta. When I got elected in Sri Lanka, the then Vice President Nama December was there in Sri Lanka. But when I was going out of office, when we had the election, when my successor emerged as a winner, President Buhari was there too. Some people know my profile picture is me with the president. That was the moment. And when I was there, I had tremendous and very good opportunities to represent my country, where I come from, because I believed from the time when I was elected, I knew I was not representing myself alone. I was representing my own country, the people that gave all the preparation to me, and they have sacrificed everything to see me grow to that level. So I owe a debt to these people and to the country that prepared me to be at this stage, at that stage then. And I knew I was representing the image of the black race. I was also representing the image of Africa. So whatever I do, whether I right or wrong, it comes back to me and then to all these institutions I represent. And that's what made it even tougher job for me. At that time, I was doing my PhD in UK that time. So it was a very peculiar task for me doing these two things together, leading this large organization, managing my family, my PhD, and some other personal stuff. So it was very hectic, and I moved around the world, flying like a bird. And I had the opportunity of meeting with the global leaders, the president and prime ministers of these countries. I met them, some of them one-on-one, some of them, many times, all of them in group, because there is this meeting which we call the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting. And at this meeting, all the presidents and prime ministers of these countries come together, and I speak to them on behalf of the youth that I represent. And that was a very good opportunity for me. And sometimes when you feel so much burden that you're going to speak with leaders, and then you become frightened, you become scared, and then you remember that who are you representing? You are representing 1.2 billion youth. And you say you are after the tasks, and you want to represent them. And no matter how much fearful you become, how much scared you become, when you remember the kind of responsibility you have to get rid of that fear.
Definitely.
And that's when we're going to talk today. We're going to get rid of that fear, because fear is the greatest enemy to success. And we have to learn the art of defeating the fear. But I'm just giving you my background so that some of you might derive inspiration to my success, because as a leadership and personal development coach, I believe there is what we call inspiration boosters and inspiration killers. Just imagine yourself like a car. A car cannot move without fuel. Can a car move without fuel? No. So you cannot move without inspiration. So what you need every moment, every single day, is that inspiration. So you have to be careful what kills that inspiration and what boosts that inspiration, so that you always have fuel in your tank, so that you can always move forward. So one thing that always kills that exhaust your inspiration is the fear. And that's what I'm going to center my discussion today with you. But before then, I think we need to take like a introduction of that. I will start with giving you a story of a criminal, not to learn from the crime, but to learn from the lesson in that story. There was a criminal. Just imagine any land, in any kingdom, and the criminal was caught, and he was taken to the king, and the king gave him two options, two punishments to choose. Okay, you are a criminal. We have two options for you. Choose one. We either hang you with a rope and you die, or you take what's behind that big, scary door. Take whatever behind that door. He looked at that door. It looks scary. What's behind that? He didn't know. He thought of it. That can also be bigger punishment, because I don't know what is it. I think I better choose the rope. He chose the rope. As the noose is being ripped on his neck, and he was about to be hanged, he asked the king, "What's behind that door?" The king said, no. If I tell you, you tell others. So I want it to be anonymous. Nobody should know what's behind that door. So you have to die now. That's your choice. You have to be hanged with the rope. And the criminal said, "Oh, I'm dying anyway. Even if you tell me, I will not tell anyone. I won't even tell the angels when I meet them." And then the king told him, "That's freedom. Behind that door is freedom. You failed to choose freedom because you thought it's scary, it's unknown. And you chose the one you are familiar with, which is the rope." And he was hanged and he died because life has given him two options. One is death, the other one is freedom. But because of fear, he chose Death. Many people have chosen death over many things they fear in life. We're going to talk about that too. So there are a lot of things that we will learn from this story. And one is, we may not necessarily have to be afraid of the unknown. People usually go for the familiar pain, familiar danger, familiar evils. When there is something unknown coming, they say, no, I don't know. What if this is worse than what I know? Not knowing that it can be less evil, less dangerous, less harmful than the danger they already know. So the story is, what message we get from this story is, always get rid of the rope that bind and blind you. Go for the options that you are not too sure of. Because if you let fear rule your life, you will always choose death, not the door. So my topic today is going to be around fear and getting rid of the fear and building confidence. But before I go further, I believe all of you, like I said, I was watching you, I was following your activities, especially my state governor. I follow his activities and some few of you guys. And what you do really fascinated me. And I have not seen sign of fear in you guys. And that means you always choose that alternative door. You get rid of that rope. And so by doing that, you are already leaders. Don't think this position like a play. It's very serious. It's very important. The world is watching you. What you do here, what you do with this role that you take for granted will come back to you. People will use what you do here to judge you. It might be the beginning of so many great things in your life. That's how I started. I was at the Nigerian Youth Parliament. I was a chief whip of the parliament. Not knowing that what I was doing, people are watching me. And I was sent to Australia. I represented Nigerian youth. That was the beginning of my journey in the Commonwealth. Not knowing that I will grow, I will rise to lead the Commonwealth in general. And if I can rise to this level and achieve this success, then all of us here, we can do more. There are much more smarter and more intelligent young people here than me. And if I can do it, then you too, you can do more. So always look at some people that have achieved in life. When I was contesting at the Commonwealth, I thought it's not going to be possible. I was scared, to be honest. Because being scared, being afraid for the first time is natural, it's human. But your ability to defeat that fear that comes to you is what defines you. And it was defines your success in life. So what I did was to get rid of the fear and any self-doubt I had. And I defeated a lady from England. I defeated one of my opponents. She's British. And as African, I went there, very courageous. And we went to the debate. And I did very well. And one thing that really fascinated me with the Commonwealth at politics at global stage is nobody cares about how much money you have, how much you give, how fine is your poster, how much is your campaign rigorous. What matters to them is what you have here, your mind, your brain. Do you have plan? Do you have vision? How articulated they are? And how confident you seem to be? And do you really know what you are saying? That's just it. They didn't care where you come from. They didn't care how you look like. They didn't care the color of your skin. All they care is, are you good for the job? If you are good for it, they are willing to change their minds. And I remember, I don't have to mention the country, because each country has one vote. So we have 53 countries. So you need 53 votes. But at least you cannot have all people love you. You cannot. But you have to have two-thirds majority of the vote. A particular country, I think is from Caribbean, I approach them and say, hey, I'm contesting for the chairperson position. Will you vote for me? They say, no, don't waste your time. We will not vote for you. They didn't even allow me to speak to them because they were not there for me. They already had their mind, the British lady. And after the debates, they came to me and say, congratulations, we vote for you. Because they've seen something in me, made them to change their mind. So they're allowed to be ruled, to be controlled by their conscience. Because conscience is always correct. It's always right. It's ourselves that always tell ourselves the wrong truth. So what I'm going to say here is, you are leaders. You are not going to be leaders when you get into positions. No. You're a leader because you guys, you have already started touching lives of others. And that's what made you leaders. A leader is not someone with position. A leader is someone who impacts the lives. Not only in the lives of others, in your own life. Touch your own life. Make a difference in your life. In your own life. That's leadership. So many people confuse leadership with position. And I'm sure what I've seen you doing out there, helping people, helping yourself to grow, you made yourself leaders. So every single person in this world has a potential to be a leader. But do you know how to be the leader? You guys, you already know how to be a leader already. And you being here, practicing teamwork, is amazing. The skills, the knowledge you get here will help you eventually. Meeting with diverse group, people you have never met, with different understanding, different ideology, different background. And this is what this country needs. To band ourselves together. To adapt, not to tolerate. Because when you adapt, you accept. But when you tolerate, you don't accept. So we need to accept each other. Understand that diversity is a blessing, and that means diversity in ideas, diversity in development. So togetherness is what brings about growth and development. So that's why I will have to congratulate you first before we move forward in our journey today. So let's start talking about this fear we're talking about. You know, we university lecturers, we like to lecture. But I'm going to try to make it interactive. You guys, you can interrupt me as well. So because interrupt or interfere with, because interfere, there is something like, sound like fear there. Interfere. So that's how fear interfere in your life success. When you are moving forward, the fear will come and interfere with your success. So you have two options in life. Either to live your dream or to live your fear. Two options there will be. I'm sure you want to choose to live your dream. So if you have to live your dream, then you have to stop living your fear. And there is an old saying that says, you fail if you are afraid, and you become a king if you are brave. Braveness is the absence of fear. And if you don't have fear, or you master the art of defeating the fear, then you are bound to become a king. And there is this popular saying by a Hausa musician, Shatta, that says, a fearful person can never be a hero. Matsoraci baya zama gwani ko dan wane ne. No matter who is your father, if you are fearful, you cannot be a king. You cannot be a hero. So fear, what I will define fear first before we move forward, again, is a distressing emotion that is arose from impending danger, evil, or pain. You just feel worried, difficult feeling. You're not okay, you're not stable, you're nervous because you expect something bad to come. And that's what makes you fearful or afraid. And there are two types of fear. Number one is real fear, and the other one is imaginative fear. Real fear, if I see snake here, of course I'll run. Fear will catch me, of course. I'll have to run. That's real fear. But the fear that we don't want, that's always interfering in our success, is the imaginative fear. For example, I say, come and speak before thousands people, crowd. Become afraid. Can I really do it?
You need to go down.
What if I make a mistake? What if I didn't impress? You are just imagining the fear.
They come back now, sir.
And you have control over your brain. And you're allowing your brain, your mind, your body to anticipate the fear. So it's imagine if it didn't exist. It didn't happen. You are not even there. Or you're afraid of failure. The failure didn't come. But you're always afraid of it. Embarrassing. Many people fear many things in life. Those are imaginative fear. And those are the fears that we are going to fight today. That we're going to train ourselves or remind ourselves how to get rid of those imaginative fear. Because fear is an enemy. Whatever you see enemy, what you need to do is to protect yourself from it or to fight it. Right? So fear is your number one enemy in life. And it's your enemy because it overrides your intelligence. You might be so intelligent. You can do amazing things. You don't know because the fear has already overtaken your thought. The fear has already override your intelligence. So your intelligence will no longer be there. And that reduces the quality of your life. What you will have done, what you will have achieved, you couldn't do it because you told yourself you can't do it or you're afraid of making effort to try it. And sometimes fear comes in disguise. You may not know it. It might be sitting next to you right now. You thought she's your friend, but she's not. You didn't see it. But it comes to you in your thought. Sometimes when you feel worried, when you feel nervous, when you feel shy, when you feel stressed, when you become anxious or anxiety, for example. These are signs of fear. People say, I'm just nervous. I'm not afraid. I'm not fearful. But you are. When you feel shyness is fear too. So fear is hiding behind these things, and they come to you, and you accommodate them, and then it enters into you. So you have to be careful when any of these symptoms come to you. So you have to identify the symptoms so that you know when they come, you have to get rid of them. What we are always trying to avoid in our life is to live the whole life, not living our dream. And later, toward the end of our life, at the verge of dying, we started regretting things that we didn't do, the places we didn't go, the dreams we didn't try, the things that you're supposed to try but you didn't try. Because someone said the worst regret in life are not in the things that you have done. The worst regrets in life are in those things that you didn't do. So why not just try everything? Life is one shot. You don't get second time. So just give it a shot. And that's why I say, don't put yourself in that regret so that you will not have second, because you already know that you don't have second chance. And one thing that I always say is your enemy is your comfort zone. And fear, what they always want to do to you is to keep you within your comfort zone. When you are happy, when you are relaxing, enjoying, playing, gaming, YouTubing, Facebooking, sleeping. These are comfort things that you always like.
No, as in he wants to.
You don't like to work. You like sleeping. Fear will say, okay, why can't you just sleep? Why can't you rest? No. Comfort zone is an enemy because success is outside the comfort zone. So if you have to catch that success, you have to go outside the comfort zone. And how do you get outside of comfort zone? Is to let go of that fear. Because fear will always try to restrict you into your comfort zone. And the secret of defeating fear It's one of my gifts today. When you face fear, it diminishes. It reduces. It shrinks. But if you turn your back at it, it grows bigger and bigger. And let me see if I can remember a statement I watched in one of the podcasts. He said, the highest point of danger is the lowest point of fear. Excuse me. When you are at highest level of danger, at that time, you not be afraid because you're already into it. You understand? It's just like you were asked to speak before large crowd, become afraid. When you started doing it, the fear will be gone. To run away. It's just like a dog. When dog backed at you and you run away, what happens? He follows you. You feel stronger. But when you stop, you face it, it will run away, it will go. That's how fear it is. So you have to make sure that you watch the things that you avoid in your life. Those things are signs of fear in you. That means you are afraid of those things. So first it diminishes, and if you turn your back, then it grows. And this brings us to the interactive session of the discussion. And I want you to be honest. I know you're live on TV, but you have to be honest with each other, because when you confess, that's the beginning of making effort, of getting rid of whatever disease or fear you have. And I ask you, what do you fear in your life? You can mention many things. If you're afraid of more than one thing, tell me or tell us, share with us.
Talk to us about fear.
What do you fear the most? One thing that you are afraid. You rather choose your death. No, I'm being exaggerating here. But one thing that you are always afraid of. Yeah, just be seated. We're already going.
Labour governor representing the good people of Campus. What I normally, my normal fear normally is I have a fear of failure.
All right.
Because anything when I'm conscious that I don't want to fail.
You don't want
and
to fail.
I want to do it up to the standards. So sometimes in trying to make it very up to the standard level is something
All right.
I did this.
Your Excellency, can you write down fear of failure so that we can have a list of things that likely people will be afraid of failure? Let's have a list. Okay, let me be biased with my governor. I'm coming to you. I've seen your hand already. Governor, Usi, Prince Usi Ngao. I understand.
I will start with maybe you didn't introduce yourself very well. Maybe I'll do the introduction myself. When you are a Commonwealth youth chairman, by my count, and I stand to be corrected, you have visited not less than 13 presidents and the Queen of England. You have met two presidents in Nigeria. I still stand to be corrected. You have only one car, 406. Peugeot. Since you came back from London, you live a simple life in Kaduna. And residing in Kaduna as a lecturer, you run a leadership course. Others charges in Abuja here, they charge 150,000 on that course. It's a certificate course. In Kaduna, they charge 100,000, but you charge 8,000 naira on that session. When I hear not too young to run, you are the first person that always comes to my mind. Anytime. My fellow governors, my fellow excellencies, this is a role model and a mentor, so to say. Because yes, he's from my state, but I'm standing here to say I read about him, I don't even know him. But this is a role model and a mentor. A leader that leads with example.
All right, so I think that's enough. You can stop there. Tell us what you fear the most.
In terms of fear, I would say in my aspect, I expect my worst fears. And when they come, I embrace them.
Yeah, whatever you do with them, what are they?
Yes. And at times, the fear that comes to me, I'm human, yes, is the fear of the unknown at times.
All right. Can you write that down?
Yes, sir.
Do you have another fear apart from that?
Not really.
All right. Your Excellency, I'm coming to you. Yeah.
Thank you. I remember I almost delivering governor by your state.
You didn't change, yes? You didn't change. I thought you changed. Thanks for telling me, reminding me that you didn't change. You still remain. That's good.
By your state. My greatest fear is managing success.
Managing success.
Success.
Okay. Success. Too much success. I'm coming to you. Your Excellency. Yeah.
Name is Joshua Samson Bana. My fear is fear of losing. I don't just
Losing. Fear of losing. I like that. Sure. I like that. Excellent.
The brand of dominance. So I don't know what you call this kind of fear.
Yes.
Because I think my fear would be confronting the fear and feeling not to over. You know when you
Overconfident?
not feeling overconfident, as in over stepping bounds and trying to confront your fear. I don't know, as in
Fear of the fear.
yes, that's another level.
Yeah.
A situation whereby, okay, you have fed this and you prepare very well for that thing and
Yes, that's correct.
So it's in video game, you know that last point when you have finished him and it's now finishing, it's now left for you.
Yes.
Either let him recover or finish it. So I don't know what you call that.
Okay, I'd rather call it fear of the fear. Yes. Okay, I'm coming. Yeah. Go ahead, Your Excellency. Disappointment. Yeah. It's valid one.
Yeah, my fear too is failure and disappointment.
Disappointment.
Yeah, because I don't always have confidence about something because I don't think if I would really achieve this or not.
All right. Your Excellency. Humiliation, embarrassment. Yes. This side, what happened? Are you fearless?
I wouldn't say some word fearless, but I have a guiding principle. Anyways, I'm Jawuli Soluwashin Solomon from Ekiti State. I have this guiding principle: hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So that gives me this control over fear. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst, and don't expect too much that you won't end up being disappointed.
Yes.
So why do you believe in this philosophy? Why did you look for this philosophy before? Before you get to know this philosophy, what was your fear?
Disappointment, but disappointment actually. But after I have this guiding philosophy.
I know you are better now, but we just were trying to have a list of things that people are likely to be afraid of.
Okay, yeah.
Disappointment, right?
Disappointment, yeah.
So whatever you say does not mean that that fear is overcoming or is controlling you.
Yeah.
It might be possible that you overcame it already.
Yes, sir.
So we are not defining you by what you say right now. All right, Your Excellency.
I think it's fear of poverty. That's
Fear of poverty. Yeah, I like these things. Yeah, the lady, Your Excellency, next to you.
I fear to hurt others.
Fear of hurting others.
general fear of eviction.
And that's valid. That's correct. I like that.
But honestly, I'm afraid of women.
I like that. Fear of women, and women fear of men. Yeah, vice versa. All right, Your Excellency. You fear yourself. Wow, then get rid of yourself. I think you need to explain that because it's strange to me. How do you mean you fear yourself? Overconfidence. All right, okay. All right, understand. Here then. Yes, Your Excellency.
I have to fear of the unknown, and I'm very emotional, and then I'm afraid of being rejected.
All right, okay. Yes. Your Excellency, I'm coming back.
I actually am a fearless person.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm actually a fearless person. I hate fear. I'm very spiritual and yes, so yeah. So that's my confidence.
Yeah.
For me, God hasn't given me a spirit of fear. But what I'm afraid of being vulnerable. I'm afraid of being.
Don't worry, if someone says he's fearless, let's accept she's fearless.
I'm fearless, but
she is fearless.
To ever take me, to ever see any vulnerability in me or see any weakness is what I can't afford.
But that's someone, it depends on that person. Anyone?
I can't live with myself having that.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I have a promise here. Yeah. All right. 2 fears. What are they? Women. Okay. Which of the ladies here you fear the most? Which of the ladies here you fear the most? The fearless one? So you need to test them anyway. All right, someone is here?
Thank you, sir. I have 2 fears.
What?
Fear of the unknown, then I fear myself. Like, so I'm powerful beyond measure.
No wonder.
Guys, that's interesting. All right, I understand. That explains your point here. Excellency.
She's very wise. She's very wise. She knows how to put the word.
God and failure.
Failure.
I have this fear of losing a loved one. I can't imagine the pain.
Yes. That's interesting. Let's stop over here. And I believe this is just to prove to us that we all move around with fears. And we are not alone. If you have a fear, you should know that you're not the only one who goes around with the fear. But you have one task of how to know it and overcome it. Always make a list of things that you are likely to be afraid of. Some of the things that you are afraid of can be conscious, and there are others that are unconscious. You didn't know you fear them. You cannot even detect you fear them. But you have to study yourself and find those things and master the art of defeating them. One way of defeating it is to face it. Women, face them. They're here. Let's practice with these guys. Pick one, and I think I'll match you with someone, and you practice for a week, and then I will swap you to another, and you keep practicing. I think we'll start with the lady, or the chairperson of this week, and then you start with her. When you first say, these women I'm afraid of, they're easy, they are simple. You understand?
My friend, I don't know why he's afraid.
But it's inside his mind. You didn't do it. So you get used to it. Let me give you my story. When I was very young at secondary school, I was very, very, very afraid of. Anyone here afraid of public speaking? Public speech? Yeah, it's a common. Yeah, write that down. Public speech. I was very afraid of making public speech. They made me the president of a religious group in the college, and I was asked to always come every week to give like a talk, a religious talk before the whole assembly. I have never approached large audience as such. I was very, very afraid. I started shaking. I have to talk. I held the paper. It was shaking. My voice was shaking. I couldn't even raise up my head, but I had to do it. I faced the fear. I did it for the first time. I was shaking. It was terrible. Nobody could even listen, hear what I said. I was overcome. I was overcome by the fear. It's all over me. And then day 2, the same thing. Day 3, the same thing. Day 4, the same thing. I had to do it 10 times. At the 10th try, I was able to raise my head a bit, just to look people in the eye for the first time. And I kept doing it for the whole year. So I didn't even realize I mastered doing it. And I was no longer afraid of speaking before people. That has prepared me far long before I even matured and before I even grow up that much. You see, so facing your fear is what enables you to overcome your fear. But if you are always avoiding it, it stays there, and it will always grow bigger. Someone in the leadership program he mentioned, I'm doing this leadership and personal development program in each of these 36 states. So we are moving around. You've been begging me, asking me, or putting pressure on me to come to Zamfara. We are coming to. So in Kano, this guy said, "Sir, there is this trial, practice of public speech." He said he will not come because he's always afraid of talking before people. And I told him, you have missed a good chance. Because this is a learning environment when you make trial and then people will correct you and you make effort. I told him public speech is, when you fear public speech, you should assume that you have 100 bars standing. Bars, in the battery you have these bars, some poles standing. So what you need to get rid of that fear is to drop down all those bars, 100 bars standing. When you make public speech for the first time, one bar is dropping. When you make the second one is dropping. So for you to get rid of public speech, you have to make how many public speeches? 100 public speeches. So what level are you now? The first one, the second one, the 10th one? So you need 100. That's how much you need if you fear women. Try one. Try another one. Try another one. So whatever you fear, face it. Then avoid what you fear. That's natural. Like I said, fear is a distressing emotion from impending danger, evil, or pain. Because there is no painful consequences. You are afraid to fail because there is pain in failing. But there is none. There is no painful consequences when you make effort and you fail. Because failure is not failure. Failing to try is the failure itself. Because failure is not the opposite of success. It's a step towards success. It's integral part of the success. But when you take it as painful, as something negative, you always avoid it. And you will not live the kind of life. You will not live that dream. You will live the fear. So always believe that failure is a good thing, and the knowledge that comes from failure is worth more than the cost of the failing or of the failure. That's the theory, that's the philosophy that you need to tell yourself, and then you make effort and you avoid the fear of failure. And when you make effort, let me give you my story. Okay, let me make this story very quick. Someone told me that always put your computer bag in the boot of your car. And I didn't take it serious. But some thieves came to my house through the fence, broke my car glasses window, my car glasses, my windows, my car window, and they picked up my laptop bag. A lot of things inside there. ATM cards, computer, backup. I was writing a book, and I was at chapter 4. It took me like 2 years writing that book, and they took away everything. And then I learned that never put your bag inside your car, but inside the boot. That's the knowledge I got there, and that's the price I paid to get that knowledge. And nobody else will convince me more than I'm convinced now that you need to put your bag inside your boot. So knowledge is always worth more than the cost. So public speech is something that many people fear, but always face it. Just do it, and it will go. So the first thing you need to do when facing our fear is to build the self-confidence. Not those guys that are always overconfident, because overconfidence also brings about failure. Then be overconfident. You have to maintain the right balance and give it room for what if you cannot make it, what if you are wrong. But if you believe in your own idea, you believe this is correct, this is how you do it, and I can do it, I can succumb every challenge. That a particular challenge will come to you and overpower you. Always believe that you have to maintain the right balance when building self-confidence. And self-confidence is not the absence of the fear. It's natural to have fear. But what you need, like I keep saying, is the art of defeating the fear. All of us here, we have over trillion cells inside us, and we have control over them. They listen to us. How do you communicate? How do you speak to each other, yourselves and yourself? It's through your thought. What you think is what your cells believe, and that's what they act, and that's what becomes your reality. So everything starts from your thinking, from your thought. If you think, you believe, you develop the imaginative fear, your cells will believe in this fear, and they will not act towards that fear. So always, self-confidence is not the absence of the fear, but ability to defeat that fear. So life is a challenge. Just like TV game you mentioned. You want to hit, you want to defeat the guy, the opponent. And if he defeated you, what do? You have to go back from the beginning again. So because you're afraid of that, your opponent to defeat you or to beat you, that will not stop you from trying again. So life is a game. Okay, let me try this. Let me make effort. Because failure is not failure. Failure is a step to success, and it's an integral part of it. And lastly, you have a mental switch. There's a switch in your brain. You can turn it on or off if you want. When you turn it on, that means you're allowing fear to come to you. But when you off it, it won't come. So always switch it off, so fear will not come to you. And you guys at the end, I know you are not, none of you is afraid of death. Zion said, yeah. You don't want to die? Really? Who wants to die then?
I don't care.
Whenever?
I don't care to die.
You said something related to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, something, but you didn't mention that because someone was asked, like it's a research in America. Many people prefer to die today for them to speak tomorrow before people. So what they become more afraid of is a public speech more than they fear death. But speaking of you saying that you don't want to die, and I think if God would say, I will give you the whole life, live your whole life till eternity, you will not die, I believe you'll accept that. So which one? You're confusing yourself. You say you don't want to die, and God said, okay, live forever. Live forever. He's bargaining.
Everything a contract.
Because there was this conversation I heard on YouTube. He said, if you have to live forever, will you like that? And the other guy said, yes, life is good. But he said, no. If you're not dying, life is no longer fun. There's no measure of success. Everybody will be sleeping at home, thinking that it's always tomorrow. There is no need for you to be in the labor room. Because you have the whole life. It's endless. Why do you have to wake up in the morning? Well, you have the whole life to live forever. So there's no need for you to struggle. There's no measure of success. There's nothing to say this is success. And to cap my presentation or my talk with you guys is we have to change our mindset, ideology. You guys, you have to be different. We have to draw a line in our generation. What this country believes, the values we hold dear, we have to change it. We don't have to look up to our ancestors or the senior citizens and believe in that whatever they do, we have to do it. We have to create our own life, the way we want to live, the values that we want to create, so that we can live different life from that of our ancestors. Because we had much more bounties, more beauty, more opportunities than many of our ancestors. So we should forget about thinking of the past and creating our own future by ourselves, believing in ourselves. And I think this starts with all of us here, especially you guys, because you are role models. People are out there looking for you. And that's why I will also keep eye on you guys. There's so much things I can work for you guys as well. I will try it with the help of the Commonwealth to see that some of you guys have connection or some opportunities to work with the Commonwealth. At many stages and platforms, and so I'm already thinking and planning something for that. I'm not willing to make any commitment here yet, but I'll always have it and start working on that. But before the end of your tenure, many opportunities will come to you. Use it. Even if you're afraid of, who say, many things are positive things, too much profit, too much success. Who says afraid of success? Or yesterday, managing success. I think many people know what leads to their failure more than they know what leads to their success. I mean, know what leads to their success more than what they know of what led them to the failing.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's valid one too. So I want to congratulate you finally for this opportunity, and we hope to catch up more and more. I'll be in Abuja. Let me just respond quickly to this political governor, you, my governor. And okay, let me start. When he mentioned that I met some president, like I said, I met all the president and prime ministers of these 53 countries. So you can cap it and say 53 countries. I met with their leaders, but maybe he's talking about individually going to their countries, meeting them one-on-one. That's fine. Queen of England, being her the head of the Commonwealth, I met her like 7 times. Yeah, because she is the head of the Commonwealth, and I was the head of the Commonwealth for the youth wing. So that's what makes it like official engagement between me and her. And there are so many programs, occasions that me and her are likely to meet. And I always have to give reports to the head of government to tell them about what we do, and if you need support, they supported us as well. And many people think if I serve at global stage at that level, I should come home and become minister. I become governor. I become senator. I say, no. I don't have to be senator. I don't have to be in that big position to make relevance. And I think that the motivation of me coming back to Nigeria is to serve, is to commit, is to be the leader, touching lives. And many people believe that doing a lecturing job is the least thing to do, being a lecturer, but it's not. I always mention this story. I went to a school with my friend who works in PTDF, and one of the students asked me, "Why do you work, sir?" I said, "I'm a university lecturer." Said, "Okay." And then he asked my friend, "Why do you work?" "I work in PTDF." Wow, PTDF. So it's wow to work in PTDF, but it's not wow to be a lecturer. Because many people think being a lecturer is a list job. Some people organize a dinner in my honor here in Abuja. I say, Dr. Ahmed Adamu, he served at the Commonwealth, but he's now a lecturer. You can imagine. It's very simple. I say, no, that's a big call. Being the lecturer is a big call. My measure of success, like I always say, it's not the money. Don't measure your success by the money you get or by the power you get, position you get. Because you don't need power. You don't need money to be a leader, to make difference in your life and the life of others. And I said, I have to come home and contribute to the development of my country and humanity. Someone said, be ashamed to die if you didn't score a goal for humanity. So what goal are you scoring for humanity? What difference are you making? And I think like this kind of opportunity of me to speak to people 1 hour, 2 hours, it's not enough. Some of the things that I said, you may forget. But we need to come up with a program that will catch or will keep you in one place for the whole 6 days, 8 hours per day. Give you training, inspiration, and learn from each other. And that's why I came up with the Leadership and Personal Development Program. And I developed over 40 modules. Each of the modules is targeting a particular development skill or to get rid of a particular challenge or difficulty in your lives, in people's life. Things, because there are many things that we are not taught in classrooms, but they exist in real life. So we have to track those gaps and give it especially to the young people. And I like you guys when you are writing down things. That means you are really learning. Because I always say to my students, when you just listen and just information is coming to you, it's just like pouring water on you, it will slip down and go. You dry up, and as if water has never touched you. But when you listen and you take note, that means it's forever there. You're sucking the information. And that's why we have to be engaging. And I came up with this program. We've covered 3 states. We are going to start in Abuja this Saturday. So we're going to be in Abuja for 3 weeks to do this program. Then we keep moving. I didn't promise you that, but let's see how far you can walk. But I spoke to some of the organizers of this meeting and see if I can have more chance to visit you guys, even here within the mansion or even after your graduation here, and have a special session for you guys. Have 6 days of training and development. Yeah. Because I always believe we have to take responsibility of ourselves. Fix yourself first. You first. Even in airplane, when there is going to be accident, they say, help yourself before you help others. Many people forget to help themselves. They try to help others, and they could not. So you first. Someone say you want to create employment, and he want to create a hall for people to get job, to set up businesses and things like that. I say, no. Do you have a job yourself? Say, no. Go get job before you help others. I say, Dangote, if he wants to create a job for 100 youth tomorrow, he will do it because he first helped himself. He invested in himself. He grew up, and that's how he was able to help others. So you help yourself first, and help people within your ability. I'm not saying that don't do big things, but think of yourself first. I think so far this is what I'm going to say about values and ideology. But there are many things I think I come with in my brain and they're slipping away. But that's fine. Let's have interactive session, comment, contributions, questions, and then we move forward. Chairperson, I hand over to you. Let's take observation questions. I'll put all together, then I will respond at last.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for your words of inspiration.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you are finally back in Nigeria. You know, I've known you for so many years through my mentor, Dayo Israel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen you guys together here also work in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
You know, and he is also back to Nigeria.
Oh, interesting.
So my question is, sometimes with the level of exposure, he has also met the Queen of England about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
He hosts the Commonwealth. He's one of the hosts of the Commonwealth Youth Summit or something in the UK. But my question is, sometimes when people like you, with your level of experience, exposure, and knowledge, come back to this country, you are not given the platform to actually create reasonable impact. Now imagine someone like Israel, who has made the Queen of England on several occasions, many world heads of state, came back to Nigeria and decided to enter into politics, but could not win common chairman of Lagos mainland local government. I was heartbroken because this person could have brought his wealth of experience into his local government to impact them. He didn't need the money, just like you. You know, so my question is, like, you know, there are many people like you all around the world, in UK, in the US. What are the difficulties you are facing from the establishment in this country in making like real impact that will have great value to the people? Thank you.
Thank you. Chairperson.
Thank you very much. My name is Ian. Of course, this is the first time, but I would want to continually tap for this experience. There's a saying that I heard, and I like using it, that courage is not the absence of fear. Well, it's the feeling that there's something more important than that feeling.
Exactly.
So,
sure.
I'd like to know that we are facing difficulty, just as my brother highlighted. We have people that have this value for service, people that they have the knowledge, the capacity to live. When we come back to Nigeria, the system of grant does not give them an opportunity to be able to make as much impact, lasting political, social, and economic change in society as possible. And there are some other people that might not have as much skill, but they are willing to learn. So this is why myself and many other youth were motivated to create a platform called IamPots.com. And IamPots, it's like a community of young people who are taking a decision. What is POTS? Part of the solution. We are taking a decision not to be the problem, but to be part of the solution. And what we intend doing is to prepare ourselves deliberately, build capacity and prepare ourselves for leadership. Then building a system, leveraging on the experiences of the older ones to create a brand new system that is favorable to people like you, people that don't have the knowledge, that want to learn, and people that have the knowledge. So with this, I know that after this program, I'm still going to see you because you're one of the mentors that are going to groom so many other young people with your skill. Thank you very much.
All right, Chairman, I'll allow you to indicate. Chairperson will indicate.
Thank you once again, sir.
Welcome.
I'll start by stating that fear is positive or negative. It now depends on how you're able to channel it. Because fear is like a fire in the human system. It regulates the pH level of the human emotions. And so it's what encourages our learning. When a child touches a lamp, it knows that next time it's not going to touch it. That is because of fear. Fear also makes you have self-control and all of that. That does not mean that you being outright and makes you, because sometimes that brings you to overconfidence and then it makes you want to use the energy that comes out of that. So now, there are persons like yourself. You have built it over time, and then it has helped you to attain a certain level of success. And then coming back, you are now a reserved person, obviously. And then there are likes of your kind who sometimes I could say you want to achieve, but achieving in the expense of another person is not what you want. As in stepping on another person because of you want to achieve. It's not what you want because it doesn't give you justice. So what I'm trying to ask now is that how are you able to bring together the likes of yourself, so that you can attract a network? Because we're trying to form the Deep Nations network of persons who are selfless in whatever they are doing, and then assist everybody who has that kind of mindset. Because I'm not here because I want to win. I'm here because I want to help whosoever is going to win. I tell my colleagues, if you win, I'm coming to you. Obviously, the reason is because I will help you win. I can testify among all of them here. I started with, even if I have a good discussion with my group, I don't hide it, I don't go behind closed doors. The reason is because come and tap from me, because I know that by the time you tap from me, even if you get to succeed, at least I know my idea is there. And so I don't get scared of coming to ask you to give me your own idea.
Yeah.
And by the time you don't give me your idea, I quarrel and then relax so that I'm waiting for you to see how you will succeed and I will not come to you. So I'm trying to say, getting like minds who think like that, because we are selfless, Nigeria is moving ahead.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Well, confidence.
Okay, thank you. I was expecting you to say
Okay.
well, as we wait for you to join us, please, I want you to please kindly tell us what you do Commonwealth. You now want to know what
Okay.
What does it affect?
Let me take your window. And don't press the head.
How does it affect?
Yes.
Just make a little contribution.
Thank you, Doctor.
Fear is biological and medical as well. There's what we call the flight or the fright hormone in the body, and that's adrenaline. Now, adrenaline is released irrespective of what you have done before or what you have faced. So I'll give an example. You said you fear women. When you meet a woman for the first time, probably for some it will be just 3, some SS3, some university, some have not had an encounter with a woman. The first thing that happens is there's a surge of adrenaline. Now what will adrenaline do to you? 2 things: sympathetic response and parasympathetic response. In summary, your heart starts beating, your hands are shaking, your legs are weak, and then we have what is known as the butterfly feeling.
Doctor.
Yes,
Doctor.
In public speaking, for example, you want to speak for the first time, your hands are shaking, and you lose everything you have memorized. Now, what is the solution? Adrenaline surge is synonymous to taking drugs, taking alcohol, taking cocaine, and then taking pill. Remember, the more you take, the less response you give to it. So, for whatever fear or whatever thing you do, talking to a woman, having a business, public speaking, fear of death, fear of whatsoever, the first step is to start decreasing your response to adrenaline. For every time you make a public speech, sir, like you said, the 1 bar drops. Your response to adrenaline drops.
Okay.
And remember, you either choose to flee, which is medically, adrenaline is medically known as the flight or the flight or fight. Flight in the sense that you run, which you refuse to make your public speaking, and you still have your 100 bars.
Standing.
Or face it and fight it, and it drops 1 bar.
Yes.
It gets to a point where you don't have any bar left, and we get to that point of being apparently overconfident. And it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem in the sense that God has created man to fear. It sharpens your response. What adrenaline does is, your eyesight, you have farther vision. You think better, and you stand. There's I'm shaking right now as I'm talking to you because I still have little response to adrenaline. It sharpens your response. It gives you that different glow of confidence. Now, if you no longer respond to your adrenaline, or you don't have any adrenaline surge, you stand up, you're mechanical. That is one. People look at you as cocky or proud. They don't see that response of fear in you, and you lose it. So you see 2 people, one person pockets it in his hand and talking, and the audience is like, I beg, do go sit down. And you have another person coming to talk, and you notice that he's shaking a little. Midway, 30 seconds, 1 minute into a conversation, and you see a powerful presentation. So I'm not going to advise anybody to fight fear entirely. Fear is God's gift to you, but you have to do 2 things. Face it and fight it, or flee. But you should know one thing. No matter how long you flee, you have to come back.
It's still there.
And no matter how hard you fight it, you will still keep on fighting it. Because the time you stand up and say, I'm the best public speaker, I no longer fear public speaking, I no longer fear a woman, you see a woman that you sit down by her side, you will not be able to say one thing. I love it. So in summary, please, let's embrace our fears.
That's deep.
And know that it's God's gift.
Deep. Nice one. Nice one, doctor.
That was deep, my doctor. Yeah, thank you so much for letting us know what fear is, what fear could be, and what fear is now. And we are to before Power State. According to your word, you said a car without fuel can never command motion. So we need inspiration every day to face daily challenge. So I want to ask the question, what's your own source of inspiration on a daily basis? The second one, to be been able to lead over 1.2 billion youth across the world is a great stuff. And thank God for
Ingawa.
Our prince here.
Yeah.
I blew your trumpet. So you're not much of a person that like blowing your own music. So but I would love to know what are the things you've been able to put down to Nigeria when you were in a place of power for 2 years. Thank you very much.
Chima.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. My fellow governors, I'll start by saying standing before you here is a man who was once labeled as a total freedom. We think I was always going to fail just because there are some kind of situations or circumstances that I found myself. But thanks to God, I was able to defeat some of those fears. And my experiences so far in life has really made me this strong. And I think by special grace of God, I'm still learning to overcome some of those fears that I don't know but have not come across in life. Well, just like you said something, and it's really, really striking. This is the highest point of danger is the lowest point of fear. Wow. My questions, my own contribution or question goes like this. I want to know that is it that we in this part of the continent, that's the African continent, outside there, why is it that those outside don't regard us as people who can contribute something to the human race in such a way that we are so rejected, and most at times they don't take our contributions, or they don't take most of advices we give when it comes to how the world can be a better place serious. You look at the likes of some of our great leaders like Muammar Gaddafi, you look at Nelson Mandela, you look at NAC of these great men who have tried in their own capacity to see Africa contribute something special or something great to the human race. Yet they are still not being regarded as people, or they are still not regarded as people who can make this difference when it comes to a better, where this world, or how human race, or the shape of human race entirely.
I understand. Clear. I understand your question. Yes.
I would like you to own expertise to
sure.
more light on.
I have noted that.
Sokoto.
My question is about the Commonwealth. I know you have been sacrificing many things for you to protect your integrity and the success of the Commonwealth. But some people are using the platform for their own benefit. In my state, you know everything.
Yes.
No need to mention.
Yes.
So what measures are you taking to protect this kind of issues? Thank you.
Niger.
All right. Thank you, sir, for words they were light to me. Mine is a contribution and at the same time question. First of all, you said fear. And look at fear as face everything and rise, or you face everything and run. Somebody once said fear is false evidence appearing real. That's fear. At some point in time, when you have fear, it creates doubt. Once it creates doubt, what happens? It blocks your imagination. Once it blocks your imagination, what happens? It makes you unproductive. So at some point in time, I get to realize that every human sitting here is a genius. When fear is too much, that genius in you is suppressed. And at this point in time, I would like to tell people out there that it's time, from the media to the media, it's time to move on from counted out to be counted in. I'd like to end by saying, keep that you fear goes the treasure you desire.
Yeah.
After studies on drugs, I've seen several people, most especially youths, once they want to talk or they have something to present anything, they use drugs. Yes. You know, once they are on hard drugs, once they are on these drugs, they sound confident. In fact, they can do some crazy things that you don't expect them to do. But without these drugs or without these this thing is deep. You know, they tend to shut down. They can't say anything sensitive. Now, what advice do you have, or what can you say concerning this?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Benny.
So I know that outside this country there are certain countries that deliberately groom the leadership.
Yeah.
Here it's more like everybody who is in a place of privilege wants to just favor their own.
Yeah.
You know, but as human beings, we have a conscience to recognize greatness when we see it.
Yes.
We have a conscience to agree that this child might not be mine, but the child has what we need to harness to preserve our country. Now, I believe that the Commonwealth of Nations exists, irrespective of the fact that, yes, there was once upon a time colonialism, and of course it has been accused of being neo-colonialism. But then I know that if the Commonwealth of Nations exists and given a platform for deliberately grooming people from all the Commonwealth nations, then it would obviously not just be grooming them to just let them waste away, but be grooming them with an agenda also for those nations, even if it's indirectly. So you are back here right now. Of course, you have a lot of intellectual, property to give back. Irrespective of the fact that we have a system here that it will take, certain things for you to break in. Does the Commonwealth now have a strategy on integration into the system? Because I would want to believe that that should be in place. You can't just get people, raised up. You raise them up and then you don't let them, in class and use that. The other thing I wanted to ask was, you are having a leadership training. I don't know whether it's a leadership.
Yeah, leadership training.
It's leadership. Yeah, you're having a leadership training. I've always wondered, okay, who are the kingmakers of the world? Yes, we have the kings. We have those that you see on TV. But then we have those kings are answerable to.
Yes.
And those are the real people that have the heart of the well-being at heart to direct and say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Now, no matter the aspirations I had, no matter the dreams I have, if I have an opportunity to know, okay, these are the kingmakers, it would help me more. So I'm asking outrightly, who are the kingmakers? And I'm asking outrightly, is there somebody who wanted to be mentored or be in touch with the kingmakers? How does one do
Which of the kingmakers? I mean, makers of which king?
When I say the kingmakers, like those that are there to say, okay, we want to hand over the power.
Where? Where?
Here, okay, let me say
in Nigeria.
Yes, Nigeria.
You're asking me the kingmakers in Nigeria?
You understand what I'm talking about. It's a broad question.
All right.
And feel free if you don't want to answer it.
Then,
if
okay.
I don't get the answer here, I will still come after you after this.
All right.
Matthew, please.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Please, I read something. They said Nigeria is classified as one of the third nations in the world. It's a third world nations. They said the third world nations are still being led to look to the developed states for their standard of quality and excellence. They said this breeds a sense of disrespect for and suspicion of their own products, as well as a denial of the great potential that lies dormant in these great peoples. And I want to ask, it's been said that our leaders don't make decisions, especially our economical decisions of Nigeria, that we still look up to the first world nations or whatever to decide for us what we should do in our own country. I want to ask, is this part of fear? And if it's actually fear on our side or on the leader's side, how do we overcome this?
Okay. Sure.
Zamfara, then Ogun State.
Thank you very much, sir, for having this opportunity, giving us this kind of opportunity and direction. I believe we have learned a lot. Thank you very much, sir. I wanted to ask about 4 questions to the course of interaction. I'll be able to answer like 3, which I wanted to request to they kind of have a kind of train on leadership and personal development skills, so that, and then which you promise that we are going to be productive as level. And then secondly, and then I wanted to ask that it will not get up with all the experience we have in the Commonwealth for over 6 years. We have been meeting with so many presidents, by the in the Elizabeth, banking, Kenyatta, there's so many teachers with one of the greatest leaders in the world that it is not better for you to run in a political platform. But at the same time, I answered this question because when I remember, they had just said that a leader always produces leader than the followers. So you are indeed a leader because the kind of platform you are running, you are producing more leaders. That's all. And then we have the opportunity about 3 days back having interaction with the Pilar Dorothy, and there is one of the interaction section also. And then in one of the things we learned, he encouraged us to, after the 60 days leaving the march, we should go back to our state and encourage people to have a country. And then after that, we should also try and motivate them to pass their country. And then I can remember once a time I'm reading one of your articles on Facebook about skills for good. So,
yeah.
Yeah. It was also sad to you kind of
teach
us this kind of experience so that we can at least help us to maybe kind of mentor our people maybe outside so that we know the kind of people we're supposed to vote.
All right. I think we need to minimize the questions. They're becoming so much. Do we have the last one?
No, I said Ogun.
Someone. It seems that these questions are not ending. Well, let's see how far we can go.
My question is in respect to what someone asked concerning the entirety of Commonwealth. Okay, my question is that do you have a specific field for women, rather for girls and women in underserved communities in Commonwealth nations concerning personal development, education, and water?
All right.
All right, he wants to answer her question, Akwaiba.
Answer?
Speak secretary wants to answer her question.
Add something on what she said.
What she said?
Yes.
All right, so make it snappy.
Okay, just very quickly. She really did all these things. Because she mentioned Nigerians' dependence on foreign economists to dictate our national economic policy. Being an agri-economics, it borders the to my field. I can tell you from personal experience, some of the people that trained us, when Google releases their top 50 scholar every year, my personal supervisor enhanced it, and it's not a person. Let's not even go that far. Nigerian economists that run the economy today, most of them were the best in Harvard. Some of them are the best in Oxford, and we dictate our economic policies. Just recently, we had a Delta, Okonjo Iweala, basing the Nigerian economy. The former economy was far back when they did it, and now we know that we are larger than South Africa, without counting the entertainment industry. So when you come into economics, in Africa, we don't get it.
All right, okay, let's move. Chairperson.
Konge State. That should be the last question so that you answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
The line in our creed says that I shall give to the world a brand new sister nation. With your experience with the international community, the international perception of the black race in respect to evolution, that we are years backward. This creates some fear. How do we fight it? Thank you.
All right. So I think it seems we are going back to a fresh new lecture, which is going to last for 1 or 2 hours. But I'm going to make it snappy because, like I said, I have full of packages, a lot of things that we have to talk about. This 1 hour or 2 is not enough. We have to do more. We have to make lots more and do a lot. But before I answer all the questions, I think from your questions, I understand that we need to do the leadership and personal development program with you guys.
Okay.
And a special session for you guys. And then I skip to talk so much about the public speech, the art of mastering public speech, because we have 3 or 4 modules within the leadership program that is talking about improving your skills in public speech. We will get to know the genesis of the fear. where the fear comes and what makes good or bad public speech. Maybe, if I will have a second chance to visit you while in the mansion, my next topic will relatively be on that topic too, because you are going out there to speak to more people. And if you are a leader, if you cannot speak very well, then you will not convince your followers. Even in business, if you cannot communicate very well, you will lose. When you have a good command of English, people will trust you, will believe you, will give you more chances to represent them. And that's why so many people confuses competence with ability to talk. Many people are very good talkers, but they have nothing in their brain. But we're going to talk more on that. Let me start with you. Yeah, I think, to me, that's why wherever I go, even the day before yesterday when I spoke at TEDx, Gamji, TED Talk in Kaduna, they asked me to talk about my achievements, my success. They say, my pictures with the Queen, with the head of state, I should share it, I should show it. I said, no, that's not important. That's a highlight of my achievement, because my achievement is not by the number of people I met. If my friend Israel met with the Queen, yeah, that's good to him. But my meeting with the Queen and it's always come last with the head of states, because they became something there, and I'm not yet there too. And meeting them does not count to me in success. But it's just a sign of success to me. But itself is not success, because they are equally human beings. I might succeed more without meeting these guys. Wow. So to me, you don't judge or use it as a basis to say, if this guy can meet this man, he must be successful and he must be given bigger chance. It goes beyond that. It's more than that. Israel has done so many things you didn't mention. Meeting the king is the least of it. So count his actions, not the people he met, not the pictures he had. Pictures are mere pictures. Even the guy who takes no responsibility can have a real opportunity of meeting these guys. That does not make him a leader. And that's why I don't always count I don't mention these kind of things. It's only that circumstances comes that I have to say maybe someone will believe in himself to enhance self-esteem. We can only use it to inspire someone. This guy has been to places. Maybe me too. I can be there because we come from the same place. He's from the same country. If he can do it, me too, I can do it. Just use it for that purpose. And then speaking of that, if us went there and achieved a lot at global stage and coming back to Nigeria, the best prize is not us to be putting into politics. Politics is not the ultimate destination of success. Like I said in my speech in TEDx, you can sit down, in Kaduna, I said, Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King, they were never politicians, but they achieved success. They reshaped the history of their countries without being into politics, without them being prime ministers and president of their countries. There are much more to achieve in life beyond politics. I understand politics is the gateway to power, but we have so much unlimited powers inside us to achieve more, to do more, even without position. That's why I say the best people should not think that I'm not being paid or I'm not being placed in the right position because I'm not into politics. I wasn't given ministerial appointment or things like that. Even others that are trying to campaign me for any other opportunities, they are confused. They don't know that I didn't wait for it. I didn't ask for it. But that's just quick about that. Yes, I agree with you. Say when you look at the gain that you get from trying, it will help you to overcome your fear. Okay, let me do this business, or let me try this idea so that I can get this benefit, this kind of benefit. So think more about the benefit. That will give you more courage. But if you think more of the negative, the painful consequences, that's when the fear will overcome you. So I believe someone talked about unity and network, creating a network of like minds. I agree with you. There are good like minds that we can work together to change the story of our country. But it's always difficult to identify them. Most people, they look at who has a big car, who has the wealth, the money, and that's the guy. We have to change a lens, the way we look at things, the way we pick people. We have to change the measure, the requirement, the criteria to identify. Most of our youth or young people, they have what I call insecurity. It has to be me. If I bring doctor into my movement, doctor will overshadow me. Yeah. Nobody will hear me. Nobody will see me. I will not be the chairperson. I will not be this. So instead of joining doctor's movement, I'd rather have my own movement where I'll be the chair. Everybody respond to me. If I join Israel will be the leader. I'll be nobody. So we think of ourselves, and we think less of ourselves. So we should think more of what we can do together first. And that's what will help us to get rid of the... So I think it's a starting point. There are some couple of movements around, bringing about movements and things like that. And I think it's a good suggestions. Somebody asked, what's my fear? My fear, I'm thinking, what do I fear? I fear many things, I know. I fear failing. Yeah, it's natural. But doctor told you it's natural. I don't like failing. And I do everything to make sure that I don't fail. So failure is one of my fear. Commonwealth is voluntary association of countries. They come together to help each other. They contribute money to create a wealth and help each other. Whoever needs support, they go there to help them. If it involves money, use the money. If it involves technical, policy, advice, moral support, voice, whatever calamity you face, anything, any challenge you face as a country, if you're a member, Commonwealth will come and help you. Especially we have small countries that have 100,000 population, 200,000 people's population. You understand? So these are small islands that are faced with so many natural calamities and disasters. They didn't have the money to support themselves. So it's like helping each other. And we have the Commonwealth Scholarship, where people from all these countries, they can go and have better education in other places, different from their countries. So Commonwealth, there's a lot of things. There are so many, a subgroup of Commonwealth. There is a better word for that. But there are so many other Commonwealth organizations. There are up to 100, more than 100, that bear the name Commonwealth, that work within the Commonwealth nations. So I'm not going to dwell so much on that. You need fear, sure. Even when I come here, yeah, laugh very well. That's good. Even before I came here, I was afraid. Can I really do so much as I want? What if it didn't go well? How about what? I kept asking myself. So I was relatively a bit nervous. I was sweating inside. You didn't know. Yeah. So I was shaking in a bit, but I say, no, come on, you can do it. You're the one. Remember you yourself can do it. You have the idea. So you understand, just to tell you. So it's natural. It's not, because having the nervousness, the fear, is what makes you to do well. But if you're overconfident, you go beyond your limits. So the fear will make you to maintain the balance, to be at the right place. So no one has ever noticed that I was afraid of talking to you guys. I was able to manage it, and that's what enables me to maintain the balance. It's just like aeroplane. Before it flies up, it has to have certain level of weight so that it can maintain its balance. So you need that weight from your heart and nervousness to make you maintain the balance. Yes, it's natural. My source of inspiration. When you doubt me, I'll prove you wrong. Yeah. many times when, so I don't want to be so proud saying this, but I'm just saying it for you to get knowledge. Many people say, you cannot do it. This is difficult to do. How can you do it? No, you don't mean it. So many times when I make statement, people take it light. But I mean it. You see, I'm serious. I don't have to shout it. I don't have to keep saying it to mean that I'm serious. But when people doubt you, you have to prove them wrong.
Sure.
So that's my first impression. When you say I cannot do it, as if you're telling me, go and do it.
Exactly.
And I will go and do it. Okay? And sometimes when I read inspirational quotes, when I read from people, when I see my mentors talking, one of my mentors is Barack Obama. And these are people, when I look at them, they inspire me a lot. Yeah, and appreciation. When I do something, you appreciate or you acknowledge it, that encourages me to do more. My secret, don't tell anyone. Cameras, don't share. All right. Successes I brought to Nigeria. Being the first, I had to dig deep down to put strong foundation for the Commonwealth Youth Council. Nobody will see the height of my building because I have to bury it because we need the strong foundation. Learning on the job because we did learn from someone else. Setting up policies, working policies, getting the recognitions, networking, membership, structures, secretariat, staffing. These are things that have overtaken our time, setting the foundation. So many people will not see so much more what I did to Nigeria because I did so much more for the whole Commonwealth. And so that everyone will benefit. If Commonwealth Youth Council established and it becomes strong voice, even Nigerians will benefit from that. So that will represent somehow a success to the country. But yet, we're able to do quite a lot for Nigeria, even though I wasn't representing Nigeria alone. If I had to do that, that would be conflict of interest. Every project that comes and say, okay, take it to Nigeria. You can do that in Commonwealth. Every country has equal voice. Even though I came from Nigeria, but that does not mean that every project must come to Nigeria. Other projects have to be shared. But I was able to bring the youth, the peace campaign. We appointed some people as ambassadors. They still use the name as ambassadors. It's in their profile. And we created structure of young people across this country. Every local government, everywhere, they were Commonwealth's peace ambassadors and marshals. They've worked tirelessly toward ensuring peace in 2015 elections in Nigeria. That worked very well. And we've given spaces, opportunities for so many young people individually to work with us. And in other places, scholarships, job opportunities, many things. And then we did the grants. We gave grants to some youth associations to do projects that are in line with our project. This is so far what a lot of successes. I think it's not on my head. 2 years back, we may not have that long memory to remember, but it's been successful. But I think to me, it's not what I did, but what I need to do more. And within my capacity, even without that position. And undermining us, someone talking about some people undermining. I just put undermining us. Third world countries, yeah. Speaking of this, that's why I always tell my students, as I say, it's already, you can read in the book that there are developing countries and there are developed countries. But in my course, don't write that to me. There are no developed countries in the world. Every country is developing. Even America today is developing. They are constructing roads, building hospitals, correcting their policies. Even Trump said, let's make America great again. So they're not great. They're not great. That means they are developing. They are moving. Life is a race. You are going. You don't know even the destination. You just keep moving until you die. So there's no destination you reach and stop. You stop there and say, I'm developed. There are some countries that are fast-paced developers, and there are low-paced developers. We are developing at low pace. That does not make us less than them. If you say they are developed and we are developing, you've created a barrier. Yes. And you would believe that you are developing and they are developed. So they are superior to you. You always look up to them and you look down to yourself. So they are using these terms, developed and developing, to make us have low self-esteem, to believe less of ourselves and believe more of themselves. It's just like the issue of, someone asked this question, colonialism. I think Fearless Lady says that. I'll give you a new name. We call her Fearless when I leave. Okay? And colonialism, like I said in my article, 1st October, is not Nigerian independence. When you say Nigeria got independence from Britain, then what's Britain to Nigeria? Mother? Master? What is Britain? Someone that gave you independence. So when you believe someone gave you independence, that person is your master. You believe so much in that person. You copy everything, whether it suits you or not. And it makes you not look within yourself, like you said. That's why I said, even before the invasion of the British, before they came to Nigeria, or the Europeans, Nigeria existed with strong ideological, political, commercial systems. We built it ourselves. We were independent. Everyone was born independent and free. There was no law, there was no agreement when we asked someone to come to Nigeria and control us, to exploit our resources, to make our people slaves. And even after the abolition of the slavery, no one has paid Nigeria, no one has paid Africa for the services we have rendered to them. And that's the genesis of their growth. So when you believe someone gave you independence, you are less of yourself. We were independent. Britain didn't give us independence. What we can celebrate is the amalgamation of Nigeria of 1914, the unity. So we should see into our unity, the blessing within our unity, but not independence. If you call it independence, you are sending signal. Our history are telling your children that the white people gave us independence. That means we are slaves here still. And that is why we brought their cloth. The clothes I'm wearing. Mo told me to wear suits. And we borrow their policies. And speaking of the democracy, you talk about that. We borrow even their democracy. And that democracy didn't suit us. And I have to say this. You know, I'm a very ideological person, philosophical sometimes. I said, not everyone is eligible to hold the most powerful weapon in our democracy, which is ballot paper. Not everyone is eligible to have or to possess a ballot paper, because ballot paper is the most powerful weapon we have that drives us to our destination. It's just like handing over a gun to everyone. If you give me a gun, I may shoot myself because I don't know how to shoot with gun. Some people might shoot the good guys. So it's a skill. Casting a vote is a skill. Now you have to train people how to cast a vote. It's not everyone that has the right or the knowledge to interpret information. Doctor might say, okay, I'm a medical doctor. I will inject you. I'll give you beta drugs so that you get rid of diabetes. And Nafi will say, Nafi, right? Yeah. Honorable Nafi, His Excellency Nafi will say, no. This doctor will inject you, injections, pain. Beta drugs, I'll give you chocolate, sweets. You'll enjoy, you'll be happy. Right? But doctors say, no, you don't need sweet. Diabetes. Many people who will vote for Nafi, sweet, I like sweet chocolate. I will eat now and be happy. But they will not vote for doctor because they're not good in interpreting information. If you enter aeroplane and say, okay, so it's your turn to drive this aeroplane. Next one is you, because we want to do democracy. Will you do that? No. You have your trained pilot. He's trained for that. So you have to make sure that who drives the direction of this country from the ballot paper. There are many people, even if they're sleeping in this discussion, the fearless lady. Are you dizzying around? Yeah, so what I'm saying is, the reason why sometimes we don't get good leadership is from the bad voters. People who don't know how to vote very well. And even you asked me to contest in the election. Look at the election I went at the global stage. It was an election of information and competence. We didn't say, oh, all the people in the Commonwealth come and vote. We said each country should give us one delegate and go back and discuss with their people and come and cast their vote. Because they trust you, they believe in you, you are the leader. Even in America, if popular vote counts, Hillary would have been president. You understand? Because they know these facts. And we just borrow everything because they are colonial masters. Whatever they do is correct, is right. So we look at our differences here. So I think this is a very long lecture too. I'm just dropping this one. And impersonation, yeah, exactly. This is the kind of thing, the genesis. When you feel less of yourself. Like as someone said, let me see if I can remember. And I say, think of yourself less, not less of yourself. You understand? Come again, sir. Think of yourself less, not less of yourself. Like I said for the third time, think of yourself less, but not less of yourself. That will make you humble, meaning that you know how good you are. You have no doubt on yourself, but still, you don't take yourself so much proud. You understand? So, when people think less of themselves, they are not worth anything. They doubt themselves. They cannot do it. They try to put themselves into shoe of, try to become other than they are not. And I found it's common, especially in our youth generation in Nigeria. Many people pretend to be what they are not. Even if you are at that level, you should need to be modest. Come down to low level. Be humble. And one of the messages I have to leave with you guys is be humble. When you become humble, then God will elevate you. This is life rule. When you think you are better, when you know it all, when you don't listen, when you descend on people, you look down on people because of their age, even if they are younger than you, because of their status, because they are poor, or because of their agenda. You doubt people, you underrate people, you look down on people, you don't listen to people, you always think you know it all, you don't have emotional control, you will not succeed. Even if you are succeeding now, you'll go down soon. So be humble. And like in many cases, so many people pretend to be with the Commonwealth. They are not. They organize events with the name Commonwealth. It's wrong. It's not true. And especially in the case that happened there, it's very disgusting. I was very, very furious. I was very, very disappointed, more than you can imagine. Because most of the things that happened, similar cases, I wasn't part of it, but I was innocently being brought into this kind of scam. And that could have been very dangerous. So we have to control and make sure that it didn't happen again. Let me give you this scenario. Let's take an example, analogy of an event. In an event that is high table, right? We call it high table. And we have others. The people that sit on the high table are supposed to be the leaders, the great people. But where are they picked from? They are picked from the audience. They were once audience. So we pick from audience and take people on the high stage. That's the process of life. But if you are trying to cross over from the audience and come to the high stage without you being invited, when they come to pick from the audience, you are missing, you're not there. And they will keep picking and put on the high table. And you're already on the high table, they didn't know that you're there. They will stop picking and you will not be there officially. So you think you're at the high table, but you're not. So people should believe in themselves. Work harder. There's no shortcut. All of us that we succeeded, that is from God, and we can equally achieve more through hard work, believing in yourself. But when you think of something that you are not, that means you are thinking less of yourself and you'll not be at your best. Drug. Doctor, someone said some people want to make public speeches, they take drugs so that they can be something else. With other drug, they cannot speak very well. So ability to speak from the influence of drug, that's not yourself. That's just a drug. And if the drug finishes, who are you? I remember a movie I watched, someone, if he take a drug, he become like, he can do many things. He can think. Who can remember this movie? Limitless, yeah. So when the drug finished, what happened to him? He become limited. You understand? So be yourself. Be original. Don't copy someone else. My mentors, I look up to them. I'm not trying to copy them directly, but to learn from them. So whichever mentor you have, don't try to copy. Don't try to be what you are not. Be natural. Be original. That would give you the confidence. Wherever you are free to show what you are. Because that's you. I'm trying to be quick. Okay. The influence of Commonwealth in deciding politics. No, Commonwealth does not interfere with our system, local system, as long as it's in line with the Commonwealth Charter. Commonwealth Charter promoting human rights, democracy, freedom, and also you speak in English language as well, promoting children, women, youth right, and things like that. They don't interfere in what you do, and then they cannot groom and say, oh, this one is from Commonwealth, we have to make sure that he become the leader of Nigeria. They didn't do that. So we are on our own. Oyo, right? Yeah, so kingmakers, I don't know if kingmakers exist in Nigeria. The kingmakers, I think, are the people. The people make the kings. Or is it Tinubu? The cabals. But the cabals, they don't make the king. The king brings them after he emerged as a king. Because Aisha Buhari once said, even the king, the cabals didn't vote once. Right? So I think if they didn't vote, but with some of the cabals, you didn't see them join the campaign. Of course, it's true. You've never known them until when the governance started. I'm not trying to be so political here. Yeah, it's against the rule. But what I'm trying to say is, kingmakers are the people. We make the kings, right? Okay, well, you can chase me after to have more debate on that. Third world nations. I started like third world nation, and it's similar analogy or explanation with having developed and developing. Refuse to be called third world country. You are not third world. Every country is first. Nigeria is first to you, so Nigeria is a first world country. Yes. If you believe Nigeria is third, then which one is first to you? Which one is second to you? So your country is your first country. All right, first world country is Nigeria. Don't ever believe in these foreign or Western insinuations for modern slavery. This is a modern slavery, where we are free people. Okay, you say you should contest in election? Yeah. And speaking of my philosophy as well, with regard to politics, like I said, like I'm almost repeating my speech in Kaduna, my philosophy is I allow politics to come to me, or I allow power or position to come to me. I don't go chase for power and position. Because you have to be light for insect to come to you. When you put sugar here, ants will come. When you put up a light, insect will come, even if you didn't invite them. So I'm just trying to be light, and if the insect of power came to me, it's expected. Yes, I understand. That's true. So I don't chase for power. And what I try to do is to excel in what I do and try to make difference in my own life and the life of others that I can within my own ability. I'm not trying to overstretch or to follow someone blindly, to be psychopath because I want position. Even when President Buhari said he wants me to come and meet him in Malta, he said, "Doctor, come and meet me in Nigeria." Some people tried to block me from seeing the president. I said, no, I don't have to see president to be what I want to be. I can live. And they expected me to keep chasing, to keep calling. I said, no. I don't have to see president. I myself, I can be president.
That's right.
So I believe in myself, I believe in what I do, and the rule is make a difference and be a light. Once you're a light, instead of money, wealth, recognition, award, power, love, trust, everything will come to you, even if you didn't invite it. Nelson Mandela, he didn't say he went to be president of South Africa, but people came and say, be our president. Even the Buhari we're talking about, he built personality, integrity. He became a light, and people say, okay, come on, be our leader. And even if you didn't become the positional leader, you're already leader by making difference in your life and the life of others. So some people have started asking me to contest in 2019, of course, but I say, yet I have a vision in my career. Yet you guys are trying to distract me from my career. But I know there is a big role to play, because sometimes I feel guilty when I look at the caliber of people that lead us and represent us. And I feel maybe it's my fault. Maybe there's something I could have done different. So why can't I sacrifice something for sacrifice something in my life for the people? And that's a conscience that always tell me that maybe you should try politics. But people have to make my emergence or my contest their own project. I'm not coming to do it for myself. You want me to do it so that I can be responsible to you. If I say I want it, I spend my own money, I'm responsible to myself, accountable to myself. But if you put me up there, I know I have to report back to you. I have to be the people's voice. So it's up to the people to say if they want me or not. Yeah. Okay, women. I think we take everyone as human being, equal. Whatever a man can do, they say what?
A man can do better.
If women can do better, then there is no equality. They should do equal. Whatever a man can do, women should do it equally. Yeah. So you understand? So women shouldn't do it better, because if women can do it better, then there is no equality there. Okay, all right, it's fine. But I cannot think of anything peculiar to women, because even the position that I held, I contested alongside two ladies. So it's an open chance. There is no any position reserved for women. Yeah, so it's open contest there. That's why women, I believe so much in empowering women, because the first teacher.
That's the question. I mean, personal development with respect to girls and women in underserved communities.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, exactly. That's very, very important. We have to make women the main agenda for national development, because in our religion, we were all told in our religions, both the two major religions here, we are told that when you empower a woman, you empower the whole nation. So stop empowering anybody. Empower women. I know if you empower my mother, all right, that's good one. It's true. I'm just imagining my mother, if she can be empowered with knowledge, with money. That's going to be ours. We are children.
Yes.
Whether we are boys or girls. And that's what she has been doing.
True.
Everything she possesses, she's willing to sacrifice it for her children. And everybody is a child to a mother.
Yes.
Yeah. So empower the mothers. They will empower, because mothers are always so emotional and very helpful to their children. So if you educate a woman, you educate everybody. I can learn English from my mother. I can learn alphabets, numbers from my mother. Why do I have to go to school? Because she taught me how to speak. She taught me how to wash my hand. She taught me how to sleep. She taught me everything. She's a teacher. So the shortcut to development is women. That's the secret.
Wow.
So, the last one.
The father will pay us.
But those fathers, that we are children to mothers. You understand? I think that you'll be so historical when you trace the history of evolution to Africa. Yeah, so is that what you mean? What do you mean?
Talking about evolution.
Evolution of what? Humanity?
There's this international perception that in
So it's related to the low self-esteem. People thinking that in Africa,
black race.
Yeah, black race cannot do it, they cannot make it. And we believe in that and we act it. So whatever you believe, it becomes your reality. So we have to change our thinking, especially we, the young generation. We have to believe in ourselves. And I will conclude, I think I have to stop over here. It's been over 2 hours. With this of my another philosophy. When there was a time when I advised that we should stop sending people abroad for scholarship to study for 5 years. When President Buhari came on power, I said stop sending people on scholarship for 5 years as a trial for most courses, except necessary ones. Save the money, build our schools, so that people wouldn't have to be so lucky to get those rare opportunities to go outside there to study. They can remain within Nigeria and get the same quality of education. And so, like, for example, in my house, in many people's houses, if you're lucky, 1 or 2 of your family members will get abroad to get quality education. But the rest, they will have to accept what is given to them in Nigeria, low quality. So if one is winning, others are not winning. That's not success. So everybody has to win. How do we win together? It's bringing down the education down to Nigeria, not transporting the student to the education. Bring the education here. Because we have the land, we can erect all the structures that we want to build, and bring down the teachers that we want to bring, equipment that we want to establish, so that we can have the same quality of education. And with the saving, because Nigerian government can spend up to 100 billion naira on scholarship. That's the minimal estimate. And you can get one school. For example, my own education, my PhD, the Nigerian government paid 30 million, at least 30 million for my PhD. And in our department, economics department, Musara University, Kasana, there were 3 or 4 of us. So if we are 4, 30 times 4, 120 million. What if we didn't go abroad and we invested this 120 million in my department, economics department? 100 more of us will acquire the same quality of education that only 4 of us were privileged to acquire or lucky to acquire from abroad. So you are centralizing the resources to few people. You are creating capitalism, bridge gap in between. And if you're not lucky, your father is not rich, you cannot go out there. So you are creating division. And someone say, no, doctor, you went to UK, you had a good education, and you want to stop us from going out there to get the quality education. I say, no, I'm doing it for you. My idea is for you. And so many people attacked me because they fancy going abroad. They don't fancy the education. If you fancy the education, you don't mind wherever the education is, because education is like air. You breathe it anywhere you go. You don't have to go to UK, you don't have to go to US to get quality education. So I told them, many people think going abroad is a high level of success. UK, he's in UK, he's in US. He's great, man, he has money. Success. I want to get money, leave this country. No, this is your country. I've been to many countries. I admire how they developed, how beautiful their countries are, or were. But it hurts me knowing that that's not my country. Because I have to come down to my country and make my country the same way they are. And you start by believing that we can do it. You start with vision. And that's what leaders' job are. To look into the future and ask what future is likely to look like. And even create the future. And even the challenges that future will come, and prepare people to face the future. Thank you so much. See you next time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sit down, thank you. Be seated. Thank you, I appreciate it. Chairperson, I hand over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. I wanted to add one more question.
Really?
But it's not a broad question, just a direct question. In the area of fear, my own fear is the fear of spotlight. Fame in the retrospect of it, you understand? Like, my greatest challenge coming to this show was the spotlight is going to give me.
Yeah.
How do I manage such spotlight? In attaining success, just like you started growing, and the challenges that come with it, you deal with it there and then, and you keep growing and growing. But this is quite different because the spotlight we get with this, it's like this. We go out, face the challenges, and a lot of us don't really know how to balance these challenges with the spotlight. And a lot of people will get to see our defaults easily. So how do we manage this?
I think it starts from what you think of yourself. If you think you deserve and you are equal to being in front or on the spotlight, then you believe that you're at your right place. That's my seat, that's my position, to be on the spotlight, because I know I deserve it. I'm qualified for it. It's not you being proud, but it's to make you comfortable.
Okay.
Face it. For example, anytime I come to speak with the head of government, I say, can you really do it? This is big, oh. I say, no. Remember who you are representing, 1.2 billion. And if you didn't talk, that means those voices are silenced. You have to do it because you are equal to the tax. It's your place. It's your position. You are up there. It wouldn't even come to you if you're not qualified for it. So believe that you are equal to it. And then you marry. And you become comfortable on it. So you are after the tax. So self-belief. Enhance how much you believe in yourself, how much you take yourself. Yeah, it's your time.
Okay.
It's your chance to be on the spotlight, chairperson.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right, we're going to stand up for our creed, then we escort you as you leave.
Okay, so let's shake hands as I move out too. In reverse order. I started this. Let me. After the creed? Yes. I don't know the protocol. What do you do?
We have the creed first.
Okay, all right.
Labour Governor for FCT, Abuja, lead us to the creed.
The creed. After the one. I stand in the sacred gate of time, shoulder to shoulder with my kind and breed. We share a common burden and promise. The trial have started. My altar is broken. Something is coming. A superior nation is breaking out. The world is anxiously waiting, and I am the carrier. I must release the special seed inside of me. The memories of yesterday will not stop me. The pains and shame of today will not define me. My womb is the carrier of the future. Few days from now, my baby will cry out for freedom. I shall give to the world a brand new super nation. This is my calling. It is too late to stop me. For by God and my kind, this will surely be.
Push! Super 37! Push! Super 37! Push! Super 37! Push!
I think I'm not pregnant. That's why I could not sing the song. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, please. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Nice race. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Catch up later. See you later. Well done. Kind of guy. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Doctor. Medical doctor. Interesting. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Well done. You're doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'll leave you with this.
Please, everyone sit down. We have the tax at hand. What is the question? You didn't say.
Director. Did you say 1 hour? Yeah. Yeah.
One house, please.
Thank you.